There's a big difference between a team that performs well for a season and a team that continues to grow year after year. And most of that difference comes down to one thing: how they handle change. Because real estate is constantly evolving. Markets shift, technology changes, client expectations grow. And the teams that struggle aren't usually lacking talent. They're lacking a structure that supports adaptation. And one of the biggest conversations I'm having with brokers right now is this: how do we build a team that doesn't just survive change, but actually gets better because of it? So let's break this down into a few practical things you can start doing right away. The first is building systems that can evolve. A lot of teams create systems that only work under specific conditions, but strong teams build flexible systems. For example, instead of creating a rigid lead follow-up process, you might build a framework that allows agents to adapt based on lead source, client behavior, or stage of the transaction. This is where AI is becoming incredibly valuable because it allows agents to adjust communication while still maintaining consistency. Instead of one size fits all, you get structured flexibility. And that's what modern teams need. The second is normalizing learning as part of the culture. If your team only feels comfortable when things are stable, growth will always feel uncomfortable. But when learning becomes part of the environment, change feels different. One of the things I often recommend is building simple, consistent touch points where agents can share what's working, ask questions, learn new tools or strategies. This doesn't have to be complicated. It could be a short weekly meeting, a quick training session, or even a shared space where agents can exchange ideas. The goal isn't perfection, it's momentum. Because when agents feel supported in learning, they're much more open to trying new things. The third, and this is where a lot of leaders underestimate their impact, is reinforcing behavior. What you recognize as a leader becomes what your team repeats. If you only celebrate closings, your team focuses on outcomes. But if you also recognize consistent follow-up, system usage, adapting to new processes, you start to shape behavior. I worked with a broker who started highlighting agents who were using new systems effectively, even before they saw results. And what happened was interesting. Adoption increased, not because it was required, but because it was visible and valued. That's how culture is built. And over time, those small reinforcements create a team that's more resilient, more adaptable, and more consistent. Here's the bigger picture. The real goal isn't to eliminate change. That's not possible. The goal is to build a team that can move with it. A team that understands how to adjust, how to learn, and how to keep progressing even when things shift. If you're a broker or team leader thinking about how to create that kind of environment, you're not alone. This is one of the biggest conversations happening in real estate right now. If you want more frameworks around leadership, systems, and how to integrate AI into your team in a practical way, you can explore more at www.coachemilyterrell.com. And I share ideas like this regularly on Instagram because the teams that stand out long-term aren't the ones that avoid change. They're the ones that learn how to grow through it together.